Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today I will be teaching about fungsi gubahan, which means composite function in English. So if you guys want to know, this is about the 1.2 subtopic in Form 4 additional mathematics. So the reason why I'm not making a video regarding 1.1 is it's just a basics of chapter 1. So I believe that you guys already know about it, but anyways, if you guys still have any doubts or if you guys want me to make a video regarding subtopic 1.1, just let me know in the comment sections below. Okay, so without wasting much time, let me just straight away get into the video. Okay, so here I'm just trying to give you guys idea of what is actually a composite function. Okay, 1.1, you guys supposed to know lah what is function. So in this case, okay, so this is A, okay, this is A. Alright, so the relationship between A and B is what we call as a function, and let's say I represent the function as f. Okay, so this is what we call as function lah, the relationship between A and also B. Then what is composite function? Alright, so basically when you have more than one function and when you want to combine it together, so that is what we call as a composite function. So in this case, we just have one function which is f. So from B to C, this is the relationship between B and C, which is also a function, and let me just represent the function with alphabet G. So here, as you guys can see, there are two functions here, right? So how to create a composite function? So from A to C, that is what we call as a composite function, because it's a mixture of, like, it's a combination of two functions which are f and g, right? So now my question is, A to C, yes, that is a composite function, but what function is that? Like here I'm just representing the function as f, right, and here I represent it as g. So from A to C, what is the function? Is it fg? No, it's wrong. Okay, it's not fg. So here you guys have to understand the concept that when you want to read the composite function, it must always start from your right hand side. So in this case, the right hand side is, okay, so in this case, the right hand side we have function g. So you must always start writing the function on your left hand side first, which is g, and then on your left hand side you have the f function, okay, number 2. So you must write the f behind the g. So if it is a composite function, always start to write the function on your right hand side first. So this is number 1, this is number 2. Same if you have number 3, number 4, okay, just write it behind. So always start writing the composite function from your right hand side. Okay, alright, let me just give you guys an example here. The same thing I'm going to do. From here to here, I'm going to represent this function as f. From here to here, I'm going to represent this as function g. So if you can see here, what is the relationship between 2 and 4? Basically it's just a plus 2, right? Okay, or it is a times 2, but here let me just assume it as a plus 2. Okay, so the equation will be like this: fx is equals to, the function of f is equals to something plus 2, because why? The relationship is a plus 2. Okay, so as for the g, what's the relationship between 4 and 8? So it is a times 2, right? So when it is a times 2, so g x, the equation, okay, the function, the equation of the function will be something like this: x times 2, because the relationship is times 2, right? Okay, so this will be the function. So now how to find the composite function, which means from here to here? Is it fg? No, always start reading from the function that is located on the right hand side first. So it will become g, and then only write the one on the left hand side, which is f. So how to find the composite function, which is gf? Okay, so g f x, when when it is on the diagram, we will not write the x like this, okay? We will just write GF, GF, we will just write like that. But when it comes to, you know, writing the calculation and all, you have to write the x, GFX. It must be a GFX. Okay, so GFX. The first thing first, okay, now you understand, right, what is a composite function. Now what I'm going, so here I'm just giving you an example where now I'm going to find the value of the composite function. What is actually GFX? What is that function? What is the equation of GF function? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So the fx is given here, the gx is given here. So now I'm just going to find the equation. The first thing first, what you're gonna do is you're going to split it into two. So split in, please split in is like this lah. So g fx, you're going to split them like this, okay? And the next step would be just substitute the equation. What is the equation of fx? So this is the equation of fx, which is x plus 2, right? I'm not doing anything else. I'm just copy and paste it back, which is the equation of the fx is x plus 2, this one. Okay, next step would be, but before I continue further with the explanation, right? So let me give you an explanation for this first. Okay, so let's say you have okay, so let's say you have gx is equals to 2x plus 5. So now the question requires you to find g2. So you have to understand this concept where inside the bracket, no matter what they are writing or giving you inside the bracket, it is always representing your x. Okay, inside the bracket it must always be an x. Outside it's g lah in this case. But the problem is now they are just substituting the x with 2. Okay, no problem. So what you're gonna do is, you know that this g2 initially, like originally, comes from gx, right? So just write this thing back, 2x plus 5. Okay, 2x plus 5. But is it correct? No. Why? Because in this case, they have substituted the x with 2. Okay, you must replace this x with 2. Why? Because in the question, they have replaced the x with the 2. So you are supposed to replace this x with 2 as well. Okay, so let me just erase this and replace it with 2. So what would be the answer? This one you just press the calculator like 2 times 2, 4. So you'll get 9, right? So, okay, if you guys still don't understand. Okay, this is the original one, okay. Okay, let me give you another example. You must understand this concept first if you want to further answer this. Okay, so let's say G. Now the question requires us to find GA. So what is actually A? No matter what they are giving inside the bracket, it must always be an X, okay. So outside the bracket, in this case it's G. Just follow this one, okay. So inside the bracket it must always be a x, but in this case now they are giving us a. So how to find the equation? So we know that it is originally comes from gx, right? So where is your gx? This is your gx, right? So the equation of gx supposed to be 2x plus 5. But is this correct? No. Why? Because it's incomplete. The question requires us to find GA, not GX anymore. This is your GX. So if you want to find the GA, you are what the question did is they just replace the X with A, right? So you also replace this X with A lah. Okay, so let me just erase this and replace this with A. So that's it. So your final answer will be would be 2a plus 5. Okay, so this is the equation of GA. If you cannot find the value, just write the equation lah. Because in this case, the value of A is not given. Okay, if you still don't understand, then let me give you another example. So now the question wants you to find G x plus 1. It's okay lah. G 2x minus 5. So complicated, right? From the gx, the question just giving you gx. This is the question, gx. Now suddenly they want you to find the equation of this g in bracket 2x minus 5. So how to find it? Very easy. Again, okay, I'm just repeating the same thing, okay? No matter how hard the question is, inside the bracket, it must always be a x. So outside, you just follow this one, g, right? Okay, now, so we know that this thing, originally, it comes from gx. So you are just going to copy back the equation of gx, which is this. Gx is also equals to 2x plus 5. So gx is 2x plus 5. But, okay, wait, sorry. 2x plus 5. Okay, but then you know that this is not correct. This is incorrect. Why? Because the question doesn't want you to find gx. Gx is given. They want you to find g 2x minus 5. So what the question did, they just replaced the x with 2x minus 5, right? So you also just erase this. Okay, you also just erase this x and replace it with 2x minus 5. Okay, it's just like that. Okay, just replace the x. If there are 2x, then you have to replace both of the x with 2x minus 5. Just like that, okay. So once you're done with this, the rest is just mathematics. Where you're just going to expand this. Okay, you will get 4x minus 10 plus 5. Okay, so you will get 4x minus 5. This is the equation of g in bracket 2x minus 5. Okay, so I believe that you guys understood this very well. Because now, because if you guys must really understand this lah, the entire thing. If no, then you cannot answer this question. Okay, so with the hope that you guys have already understand this, so I'm just going to continue with this question, okay? Okay. So now the first step to find the composite function of gf is split them. Split means you just have to put a bracket in between g and also fx. So once you split, just substitute the equation of f. Okay. Once you're done with that, what would be the next step? Okay, if you guys say why we cannot expand this thing like g and also x plus 2, actually it is wrong. You cannot really expand because this is not a times relation. Okay, this is a function, it's not a times relation, so you cannot expand it. If you expand, you will just get a 0 lah. Okay, so how to continue is that this x plus 2 is actually representing what? It representing x, right? Inside the bracket, it is always x. And outside, you just follow this one, which is your g in this case. So inside the bracket, it must always be x. But now, the question don't want you to find gx. They want you to find gx plus 2. It's okay. You know that it originally comes from gx. So you just copy the function of gx first. I mean the equation of function gx, which is this. You know, right? So gx is this. So as you can see here, this gx is here. So I'm just going to take this. So the function of gx is equals to 2x. So the entire thing, I'm just going to write it as gx, which is also equals to 2x. I'm just taking from here. I'm not creating anything. I'm just taking from the question. Okay, so it's 2x, right? So once you have done with that, is this correct? Again, no. Why? Because this 2x is actually your gx. It is not your gx plus 2. The question wants gx plus 2. So, what did they do? They just changed the x into x plus 2, right? So, that is what you are going to do right now, lah. You just erase this x and then substitute it with x plus 2. Okay, that's it. Gx, if gx is equals to 2x, then gx plus 2 supposed to be 2x plus 2 as well, right? Okay, so that's it. So until this step, it involves your maths. The rest is just a normal mathematics, okay? So this one you can actually expand, right? 2x plus 4, and that would be your composite function. Okay, so the composite function of this, okay, gf is 2x plus 4. Okay, so to prove that this method really works, I just want to substitute this x value. I just want to substitute this x value with 2. If I get back the number at the end, which is 8, then the method is really okay lah. The method is workable. Okay, so now let me just substitute the x with 2. Okay, so now we know that this is your gfx. So now what I'm going to do to prove you that this method is really effective, it's really workable, I'm just going to substitute the x with this thing, okay, 2. Again, this gf inside the bracket, it must always be an x. So they just substitute the x with 2. So this is the function of gfx. But we want to find the gf2. So what you're going to do is you're just going to erase the x and then substitute it with number 2. And then press your calculator, you will get 8. So as you can see here, if I substitute the x value with this 2, I will get the number at the end, which is 8. So from 2 to 8, this is your function, right? So are you getting back the 8 number? Yes. So this method is really workable. Okay. So I really hope that you guys understand this thing very well. If you guys understand this thing very well, the rest things in this chapter is just very easy. Okay, it can be in your fingertip. Alright, so find the composite functions f, g and gf based on okay, I forgot to tell one thing. So from here, I taught you from A to C, you will get gf, right? So my question is, gf and fg, are they same? No, they are not the same. They will, okay, let's say you are trying to find gf, right? Let's say you get 2x plus 5, and then fg you get 2x minus 5. Are they same? No, they are different. So to prove that, let me just show you an example of question. So find the composite function of fg and gf based on the function of f and g given. So now what we are going to do is first, okay, let's just find fg. Okay, the question wants us to find fg and also gf. So let's just start finding the fg first. Okay, the first step must be what? Okay, so the first step must be splitting. Okay, you must split the f and g by putting a bracket in between them. Okay, so and then the second step, you just copy back the gx. This is the gx. So I'm just going to take this function of gx for x minus 5. Don't ask me where the gx go. Actually, the entire 4x minus 5 is representing gx. Okay, so that's why I'm substituting the gx with 4x minus 5. And then the next step, again, here, the same concept. That's why I say you must understand the one I explained earlier. Otherwise, you cannot do this kind of question. So no matter what inside the bracket, it must always be an x. If it is not an x, then it's supposed to be an x lah, but in this case it's not an x, right? It's 4x minus 5. So meaning that the first thing, you just write back the function of fx. So from the question you know that fx is x plus 2, right? X plus 2. But is this correct? No, it is incorrect. Why? Because it doesn't want to find the fx. Okay, they want to find f 4x minus 5. So what did they do? They just replace the x with this entire thing, right? For x minus 5. So now you also do exactly the same thing lah. Okay, you're also going to erase the x. Before this, there's a x, right? Okay, you're just going to erase the x and substitute or replace it with 4x minus 5. So that's the concept. Okay, after that, the rest is just mathematics, where you just solve it as usual lah. 4x minus 5 plus 2, open bracket. So you'll get 4x minus 3. So this would be your final answer of fgx. Now let's do for gf, and let's see whether the function of fg and also gf is the same. Okay, this one is for fg. Okay, now let's do for gf. Gfx. So the first step is splitting by putting a bracket in between g and also f. So this is what you will get. Okay, the next step, you're just going to substitute the fx value from the question given. In the question, the fx is x plus 2, right? So you're just going to substitute this fx with x plus 2. Why x plus 2? Why x plus 2? Because it is given in the question. Okay, next step is what? Okay, again the same concept we are going to use. Anything inside the bracket is actually representing x. So the outside one, you just follow this. Okay, so inside is supposed to be x, right? So we know that it is originally the gx plus 2. This thing originally comes from gx. So what you're going to do is you're just going to rewrite the function of gx, which is this. Okay, for x minus 5. For x minus 5. But is this the final answer? No. Why? Because the question wants us to find the gx plus 2, right? Okay, now you're just going to erase the x and then replace it with x plus 2. So that's all. The rest is mathematics. So until here only we are applying the concept we studied in AdMaths. No, the rest is just mathematics. You're just going to expand them for x plus 8 minus 5. So you'll get 4x plus 3. So as you can see here, fgx we got 4x minus 3. Gfx we got 4x plus 3. Are they same? No. Okay, even if the numbers are the same, but the symbol over here is not the same, right? As you can guys see here, it is a minus here and it's a plus here. So the conclusion is, in the composite function, the fg is not equivalent to gf. Okay, it cannot be the same. Okay, so let's see another question. Actually, this is question A. This is question B. Okay, so the same thing we are going to do. We are going to find the gfx and also fgx. So first, let's find the fgx. The first thing, what are we supposed to do? The first step, we must split them, right? So how to split? Just put a bracket in between f and also gx. And then the next step, just copy back the function of gx, which is negative 5. So you will get negative 5x. You just have to substitute the gx with negative 5x. And then again, the same concept. Anything inside the bracket must be x. So outside, you just follow back this, which is f. So we know that this thing originally it comes from fx. So what is the function of fx? It's this, right? So what are you going to do? You're just going to write it back. X square minus 4x plus 3. But is this a final answer? No. Why? Because the question is not asking to find fx, but to find the f negative 5x, right? So what you're going to do is, again, the same thing. Just erase the x and then replace the x. Just now it was x here, right? Okay, now erase the x and then write it as negative 5x. Okay, and then here there's another x over here. So erase it and then replace it with negative 5x, and then you just solve them. You'll get the final answer, which is 25x squared plus 20x plus 3. So this would be the final answer, the composite function of f g x. Okay, so next is to find the g f x. Let me bring it downward. Okay, so now we are going to find the g f x. So again, the same thing. The first step must be splitting. You just split them by putting a bracket in between g and also f. And then the next step is you are going to substitute the fx, which is x squared, this one lah. So x squared minus 4x plus 3. And then see how complicated it is, but don't worry lah. As I mentioned earlier, anything inside the bracket, it is actually representing your x. So outside, just follow this thing back, you will get g. Okay, so now this thing originally it comes from gx, right? So this is the gx function, which is negative 5x. So what are you going to do? You're just going to write it back, negative 5x. But is it correct? No. Why? Because this is representing your gx. Now we don't want to find gx. It is already given in question for what you want to find gx, right? So you want to find this thing. So how to do? Just replace. Okay, just erase the x and replace it with x squared minus 4x plus 3. Why? Because from the x, the equation itself replace the x into x squared minus 4x plus 3, right? So that's why we also replace the x with this thing. So the rest is mathematics. Expand them. So as you guys can see here, again, this is the function of g f x. This is the function of f g. Are they same? No, they are different. Okay. Okay, so here is another question. Find the composite function. Again, you're going to find the composite function. F square based on the f given. Based on the f given. Just now we did, like, there were two functions given, right? Fx and also gx. From that, we were supposed to find fg and also gf. But now, there's only one function given, which is f. And you're required to find f square. What is f square? F square x. You are required to find this, right? So what is actually f square x? It means that there are 2f. Okay, there are 2f. So the first thing is you are required to split them by putting a bracket inside. And then, okay, substitute the fx with its equation lah. So this is the equation of fx, which is 7x minus 8. And again, the same concept, which means anything inside the bracket, it is actually representing your f. So this thing originally comes from fx. So the fx is this thing, right? 7x minus. Okay, so the fx is 7x minus 8. So again, is this correct? No. Why? Okay, wait now. 7x minus 8. Is this correct? No. Why? Because we don't want to find fx. We want to find f square x. So what the question did, they just replace the x with 7x minus 8, right? So just erase the x and then replace it with 7x minus 8. And then expand this, you will get the answer. This one I let you do lah. Just solve it and then you'll get the final answer. So that's it. Okay, so let's do another question, which is this. find the composite function g square based on the g given. Okay, so if you guys notice, the second question also the third question is exactly the same, okay, except for the equation given and also the function. In this case the function is f, but here the function is g square, but still it is the same concept. Okay, so let me do it quickly. So g square x, this is what you want to find. G square means there are g, okay, there are 2g. So the first step supposed to be splitting. Okay, just split them by putting a bracket in between g and also g, and then just substitute the function, which is this one, gx. The function is x square plus 3, right? And then now the same concept we are going to use, which is anything inside the bracket is actually representing your x. So this thing originally comes from gx, which is this, but now we don't want this, we want to find the gx square plus 3. So just erase the x and replace them with x square plus 3, and then just leave it like this lah. So this would be the answer. So I think that's all for this video. I hope this video is helpful. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe to my channel and share it to your friends. Bye bye.